So that's SHAQ giving Caitlin Clark some credit right to the face of Angel Reese. Angel Reese sitting there gritting her teeth, I'm sure.
Angel Reese's podcast has become the Caitlin Clark Show, and she's not even a guest. In a twist of irony, Reese's attempt to stay relevant has turned into a platform for praising Clark. But nothing could have prepared her for Shaquille O'Neal's appearance, where he couldn't stop raving about Clark's skills. From giving Clark her flowers in front of Angel's face, to comparing Reese to a non-Hall of Famer, to critiquing her layup technique, SHAQ's comments left Reese squirming in her seat. We'll break down this cringe-worthy encounter and explore what it reveals about the changing landscape of women's basketball. Before we break it down, please don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Are you ready? Let's go.
Angel Reese on the Unapologetically Clout-Chasing Caitlin Clark podcast. I think that's what it's called. Unapologetic Clout-Chasing of Caitlin Clark podcast, hosted by Angel Reese.
Angel Reese's podcast, Unapologetically Angel, was meant to be her platform to shine, a space where she could control the narrative and showcase her personality beyond the basketball court. But in a twist of irony that would make even the most skilled satirist proud, the show has become an unexpected megaphone for Caitlin Clark's greatness. Episode after episode, guests on Reese's podcast find themselves drawn into discussions about Clark, often without any prompting from the host herself. It's as if Clark's name has become a basketball genie, summoned by the mere act of talking about women's hoops. Fans have taken notice, flooding social media with humorous reactions to this recurring theme. One particularly witty comment suggested a rebranding. Welcome back to the Caitlin Clark Show. I'm your host, Angel Reese. In multiple episodes, conversations that start on entirely different topics somehow find their way back to Clark's impressive stats, game-changing plays, or impact on the sport.
So when you say Cheryl swoops Caitlin Clark, it's like, oh my goodness, Cheryl doesn't like her, so let's see what this is about. And like, all of that's stupid to me. It's not true, it's all stupid. And also, now they may be mad when I say this, because it's funny to me. Like, when I look at the number 22s in the league, like I was 22, Asia's 22, Caitlin's 22, like those are some hell of a good number 22s. And we're all a part of the Nike family.
Because of women's basketball, whenever you think of Angel Reese, people often mention Caitlin Clark. You've said in interviews, there's no beef, but the media keeps going on. This is your platform, so how do you feel about that situation?
I think just being able to be in that moment of it happening, you never realize how something can literally change your life. And knowing my 5 fingers and my other finger pointing at my hand could literally have changed my life for like forever is crazy.
This constant comparison, while unintentional, may be taking a toll on Reese. For Angel, who's trying to shine a spotlight on herself, having another person's name come up so frequently show must be a source of frustration. The situation has sparked speculation among fans and analysts alike. Some suggest that Reese might be deliberately using Clark's name to attract viewers and maintain relevance in the fiercely competitive landscape of women's basketball. Others see it as a reflection of Clark's undeniable impact on the sport, making her impossible to ignore even when she's not in the room. As the episodes continued, the anticipation for Shaquille O'Neal's appearance on the podcast grew. SHAQ, known for his unfiltered opinions and larger-than-life personality, seemed like the perfect guest to potentially shift the focus back to Reese.
Let's not get it twisted. I'm an angel all day. Like, I don't want people to turn it one way and then she think I'm turning my back on her.
Little did anyone know that SHAQ's appearance would only serve to amplify the irony. Instead of providing Reese with a respite from the Clark comparisons, O'Neal's presence on the show would take the unexpected Clark praise to new heights. The basketball legend's evolving opinion on Clark was about to take center stage, turning what was supposed to be Reese's moment into yet another chapter in the Caitlin Clark saga. And it wasn't just about praising Clark. SHAQ did not hold back on some unscripted and awkward comments about Reese. Here's SHAQ publicly acknowledging Reese's lack of a layup as a sneak preview.
Oh, she can't be rookie of the year because all she do is do the flip shots, get rebounds. Just remember all that shit that they say.
As we delve into SHAQ's appearance on the podcast, we'll explore how his journey from Clark skeptic to supporter played out in real time, right in front of a visibly uncomfortable Angel Reese. In the high-stakes world of basketball, changing your stance can be seen as a sign of weakness. Yet, when Shaquille O'Neal took the mic on Angel Reese's podcast, he was ready to eat his words. What could have possibly swayed the opinion of this LSU loyalist and self-proclaimed Caitlin Clark hater? If you've made it this far and are enjoying the video, Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on all notifications. We know watching this video takes some of your time, and we appreciate you. Now back to the action.
Why do you think people love Caitlin Clark, besides her skills?
She can shoot threes from logo.
We never seen that before. That's my point. Steph Curry, a little kid. Like, Steph Curry, I love. You know why I love Steph Curry? Because I've never seen that before.
SHAQ's journey from Clark skeptic to supporter is a testament to the transformative power of undeniable talent. Initially, O'Neal's allegiance to LSU and his close relationship with Angel Reese colored his perception of Clark's abilities. This bias was particularly evident during the 2023 National Championship game, where LSU triumphed over Iowa. SHAQ's doubts about Clark's shooting prowess were on full display as he watched the game unfold. The Big Diesel's skepticism wasn't just a fleeting moment of partisan support. It was deeply rooted in his connection to LSU and his mentorship of Reese. SHAQ's loyalty to his alma mater and his protege created a conflict that initially blinded him to Clark's exceptional skills. As Clark continued to dominate on the court, SHAQ found himself eating his words time and time again. In a moment of brutal honesty on Reese's podcast, O'Neal admitted,
"She's doing stuff we've never seen before. Never seen nobody do that on a consistent basis. There's a lot of girls in WNBA that have done it in spurts, but you know, that game I'm watching y'all in the Final Four, I'm like, damn, like," and I was a hater because, you know, I'm down. She was like, she's not going to hit that shot, and bam, like, damn, she's not going to hit that shot. Man, like, if I say 10 times you're not going to hit the shot and you hit the shot, that means you're the truth.
This admission reveals the extent of SHAQ's initial bias and sets the stage for his dramatic change of heart. The turning point for SHAQ came as he watched Clark consistently prove him wrong. He elaborated on his realization, stating, "If I say, you're not going to hit that shot 10 times and you hit the shot, that means you're the truth." This simple yet powerful statement encapsulates SHAQ's journey from skeptic to believer. It wasn't just one game or one shot that changed his mind. It was Clark's consistent excellence in the face of doubt. As SHAQ's opinion evolved, so did his public statements about Clark. The basketball legend began to acknowledge Clark's unique skills and her impact on the game. His comments shifted from skepticism to admiration, reflecting a broader recognition of Clark's influence in the WNBA. The irony of SHAQ's transformation playing out on Angel Reese's podcast cannot be overstated. Here was O'Neal, a mentor and supporter of Reese, publicly praising her competitor on her own show. This moment serves as a microcosm of the larger shift happening in women's basketball, where Clark's talent is forcing even the most entrenched skeptics to reconsider their positions.
Caitlin plays the right way. I saw it. She makes the right play. Every time, not all the time. She makes her teammates better. She shoots the ball. She's a great player.
As SHAQ prepared to delve deeper into his newfound admiration for Clark on the podcast, the tension in the virtual room was palpable. Angel Reese, who had likely invited SHAQ expecting support and mentorship, was about to witness her idol extol the virtues of her biggest so-called rival. Picture this. You've invited your mentor onto your podcast expecting praise and support. Instead, he can't stop raving about your biggest competitor. That's exactly the awkward situation Angel Reese found herself in when SHAQ took over her own show.
How impactful has your relationship been with Angel?
She's like a daughter to me, so I'm gonna protect her. I call her every now and then, and, you know, just mess with her, but it's great. She's doing a great job.
The virtual studio of Unapologetically Angel was buzzing with anticipation. Reese had scored a major coup by landing Shaquille O'Neal as a guest. Fans tuned in, expecting to see the basketball legend shower praise on the LSU star and offer sage advice. Little did they know, they were about to witness a masterclass in unintentional self-sabotage. As the conversation kicked off, Reese's smile was bright and confident, but that smile began to falter as SHAQ cleared his throat and launched into an unexpected monologue about Caitlin Clark. The tension in the air was thick enough to cut with a knife, as O'Neal's words filled the virtual space. "She can shoot threes from the logo," Reese interjected, attempting to downplay Clark's skills and steer the conversation back to safer ground.
Let's just start from the beginning. Why do you think people like Caitlin Clark besides her skill? Because she can shoot logo threes. Angel Reese, do you understand the question that was been brought up to you? Why do they like her besides her skill? Shooting three is a skill. Are we having some comprehension issues that... Forget that.
But SHAQ was undeterred. He pressed on, his voice filled with genuine admiration as he extolled Clark's unprecedented abilities. With each passing moment, Reese's discomfort became more palpable. The podcast took an even more awkward turn when SHAQ began making comparisons. In a moment that left basketball fans stunned, O'Neal dropped a bombshell, You're the female Antawn Jamison.
You know who you are? You're the female Antawn Jamison. You know who Antawn Jamison is? He got 20,000 points with his shot. Whatever your shot is. Like, everybody's shot ain't gonna be Steph Curry. Your shot is your shot.
The comparison to Jamison, a player not widely regarded as a Hall of Famer, landed like a lead balloon. It was a stark departure from the superstar treatment Reese had likely been expecting.
He called her Antawn Jamison. Most people, trust me, she was offended.
She didn't know who that was.
She probably does. She's a basketball fan. She probably does. But, I mean, Antawn Jamison ain't cracking nobody's top 200 in NBA history. And this woman thinks she's one of the greatest WNBA players or greatest women's basketball player of all time.
As the episode progressed, it became increasingly clear that this was not the mentorship moment Reese had envisioned. Instead of offering guidance and support to his protege, SHAQ seemed more interested in singing Clark's praises. One fan summed up the uncomfortable situation perfectly. Basically, SHAQ was telling Reese that Caitlin Clark was better than Reese, to her face. The irony of the situation was not lost on viewers. What was meant to be a platform for Reese to showcase her personality and achievements had morphed into yet another stage for Clark's growing legend. Social media exploded with reactions, with some fans jokingly suggesting that Clark should be considered the true host of the show, given her frequent mentions.
SHAQ just called her a role player, not a star, certainly not a superstar, not a legend. Hey, you remind me of Antawn Jamison. Oh, nice player. Put up 20,000 points. No one's really heard of him. I think Antawn played at North Carolina. Anyway, SHAQ slams Angel Reese to her face.
As the podcast drew to a close, the implications of what had transpired began to sink in. This wasn't just an awkward interview. It was a microcosm of the shifting landscape in women's basketball. SHAQ's unexpected praise for Clark on Reese's own show highlighted the undeniable impact Clark was having on the sport, even among its biggest stars. The aftermath of the episode was swift and brutal. Basketball analysts and fans alike pointed out the irony of Reese's podcast becoming a platform for Clark's adulation. Comments flooded in, with one particularly biting observation noting, 6 straight pods talking Caitlin. The perception that Reese's show had been overshadowed by Clark's success was growing stronger by the minute. As the dust settled on this ill-fated podcast episode, it became clear that its impact would extend far beyond a single awkward interview. The incident served as a stark illustration of how Clark's influence was reshaping the landscape of women's basketball, forcing even established stars to reckon with her rising prominence.
Shaquille O'Neal knows talent when he sees it. Shaquille O'Neal knows a baller when he sees it.
The unexpected turn of events on Unapologetically Angel had inadvertently highlighted a broader shift occurring within the sport. As we delve deeper into the changing perceptions of WNBA legends towards Caitlin Clark, it becomes evident that this podcast mishap was just the tip of the iceberg in a sea of evolving opinions about women's basketball's newest sensation. From skepticism to adoration, the journey of WNBA icons' opinions on Caitlin Clark reads like a dramatic sports epic. Diana Taurasi, once a vocal critic, now sings a different tune. What seismic events triggered this monumental shift in the landscape of women's basketball?
Star in check.
The transformation of WNBA legends' perceptions of Caitlin Clark is nothing short of remarkable. Initially, many established players and coaches viewed Clark's hype with a skeptical eye, perhaps seeing her as a flash in the pan or a product of media overexposure. However, as Clark continued to dominate on the court, even the most steadfast critics found their resolve crumbling in the face of undeniable talent. Diana Taurasi, a WNBA legend in her own right, exemplifies this dramatic shift. Known for her fierce competitiveness and high standards, Taurasi has become one of Clark's most vocal supporters. In a striking reversal from earlier reservations, Taurasi now openly praises Clark's impact on the game and the attention she brings to women's basketball. This change in tune from such a respected figure carries significant weight in the basketball community.
Yeah, I mean, it's amazing. What Caitlin's been able to do in her short career so far has just been nothing short of remarkable. And the one thing that I really love about her, she loves the game. You can tell she's put the work in. And even, throughout, her short WNBA career, it's been a lot of pressure, a lot of things thrown at her, and she keeps showing up and keeps getting better every single game. So her future is super bright, and being a veteran and being in this league for a long, long time, it's pretty cool to see that and, going into the future.
Cheryl Reeve, head coach of the Minnesota Lynx, has also joined the chorus of Clark admirers. Reeve's endorsement is particularly noteworthy, given her extensive experience in developing top-tier talent. She has specifically highlighted Clark's style of play and her ability to draw fans as crucial elements for the growth of the WNBA. Reeve's comments underscore not just Clark's individual talent, but her potential to elevate the entire league.
Future Hall of Famer, and has had a great impact on the game already. I think makes her special. I know everyone will talk about the logo threes, and Steph Curry did that for the NBA, right? Think about his popularity because his ability, this little guy, slight of build, running around splashing threes everywhere, right? It's exciting.
The impact of Clark's performances extends beyond mere words of praise. Her presence on the court has translated into tangible results for the WNBA, with games featuring Clark drawing significantly higher audiences compared to previous seasons. This surge in viewership serves as concrete evidence of Clark's star power and her ability to captivate both die-hard fans and casual observers alike. As the tide of opinion continues to shift, the basketball world finds itself in uncharted territory. The unanimous praise from former skeptics like Shaquille O'Neal, coupled with the unwavering support of established WNBA figures, is creating a new narrative around Clark. She's no longer just a promising freshman or a media darling. She's becoming recognized as a transformative force in women's basketball. The implications of this changing perception are far-reaching. As more legends of the game throw their support behind Clark, it not only validates her skills but also sets a new standard for excellence in women's basketball. The evolving narrative around Clark is reshaping expectations for what's possible in the sport, potentially inspiring the next generation of players to push their boundaries even further.
There's a lot of doubters out there, as we all know, and she has proved them all wrong.
As we witness this seismic shift in the basketball landscape, one question remains. What's next for Caitlin Clark and the WNBA? With the support of legends behind her and a growing fan base eagerly watching her every move, Clark stands poised to lead women's basketball into a new era of popularity and recognition. Caitlin Clark's meteoric rise has done more than just break records. It's reshaping the very landscape of women's basketball. Her undeniable talent has forced even the most stubborn skeptics to reevaluate their stance, as we've seen with SHAQ's dramatic turnaround. Clark's impact extends beyond the court, inspiring a new generation of players and fans alike. As Clark prepares for her second season with the Indiana Fever, the future of the WNBA looks brighter than ever. Her ability to draw crowds and captivate audiences promises to elevate the league to new heights. With legends singing her praises and viewership on the rise, Clark is poised to be the catalyst that propels women's basketball into the mainstream spotlight, potentially ushering in a golden era for the sport. Let us know in the comments. Like, subscribe, and turn on all notifications so you never miss out. Click the video on the screen, and we will see you in the next one.